Go.
Okay. So what we do and how we do it in the church is crucial to the message of Jesus Christ. You may be wondering why. Isn't the message of God all we need to save people? The answer is both yes and no. Yes, it is. All someone needs to be saved is to hear and believe. But no, because we need to convince people to listen to it. Production is the most crucial way that we do that. I serve in a production department working in its three key areas: audio, video, and lighting. These three areas can determine the entire dynamic of a service and direct the attention of an audience. People are looking for different things at church, and we try to be acceptable to all these dynamics. We don't want to be stagnant or flashy, stale or spongy, empty or overbearing. We are to balance the service to create the most intimate experience for the congregation. We want them to feel comfortable and around people to draw near to God. The means by which we communicate can influence the way that people hear what we have to say. Because of this, it is our job to be good stewards of the platform we have been given. I will be going over the three key areas of production: audio, video, and lighting, and how to use them properly. Lighting illuminates what is not seen. Lights point out what is in focus. Lights determine the visual mood. Lights have a massive impact on the mood of a service. Lighting in a service should never be distracting, but also should be used to set a proper mood. Churches that do not use the fancy lights are just as valid as the ones that do, but the setting it creates is vastly different. I use lights to color a stage and direct attention. The lighting we use has a purpose. Have you ever wondered why we turn down the lights during your service, the impact it has? The lights get real low. This does two things for the audience. It helps them to not be distracted by the people around them and to feel comfortable in worship. Now, we use stage lights to highlight different parts of the band. We highlight lead singers so that they can communicate with the congregation without being a distraction. People search a stage of 50 people just to be able to see the speaker or the lead singer. Now, we use color to create a certain mood. Have you ever connected certain thoughts, emotions, feelings, memories with colors? You may not have realized it, but you have. Blue is a safe color for the church, a comforting and welcoming color. White is used to create a sense of passion, usually used in intense songs or moments. Reds and oranges are used in slower, more intimate songs to create a closer feeling of reverence. Colors have meaning. We just have to convey the same meaning to the people that are seeing them. Lights can also be a distraction if used improperly. A service is not a concert and should be treated as such. Lights should not be shined into people's eyes or point at things irrelevant to what is happening on the stage. We are to center the attention on the service and God. Everything else is not tolerated. We are to use this mean responsibly. Video determines what is particularly seen. Direct the attention of people to certain speakers or things happening in the room, both in the audience and streamed online. Video produces clips that educate the congregation on what is happening in the week, what they are doing as a church, what they are supporting, inspire them. Video is the record keeping. The message recorded today can impact someone years from now, not just today. What we do today can be the mean by which people can reach someone somewhere at some time else. Video is the hardest thing to keep from being a distraction. Crew, cameras, and missed shots, these are all a distraction. The crew has to be wearing dark clothing and be silent to not distract people around them from pursuing God. You must be silent but deadly, quick to get a good shot and move to the next one without being in people's way. Cameras must be watched and monitored to always be getting the best shots. There are people watching the colors of the camera so that all the shots flow and are consistent. Shots flowing to the next and to the next seamlessly. Missed shots are distraction. Shots that do not flow well, shots that move suddenly. A miscommunication between the cameraman and director can throw a service off, distracting people from what the pastor has to say. Audio has to be one of the most influential parts of the service. It is the most subtle, but the most impactful part of the service. It is the only part of production that you cannot go without. Without focal video and complex lighting, you can still run a proper service. But without audio, it can cause leadership and speakers to lose their voices trying to communicate to everyone. Lack of audio inflation causes misinterpretation and strain to the speakers. Audio is critical to proper communication to a large audience. Speakers take the message to more than just the first few rows of an auditorium. In the old days, before the speaker system, to communicate to people in large rooms, the rooms had to be designed to elevate the voice to a noise that people could hear from far away. Take an amphitheater, for example. It's designed to be a natural speaker. We do not do that today because it also has a tendency to distort what you hear, what you're trying to say and what you're trying to hear. Now we have the ability to control what is heard. It is our job to protect the ears of the congregation and protect the message from misinterpretation. Sounds can get through that can be harmful to the ear or distracting. We can compress these frequencies to keep them from being heard and expand the frequencies of what we want to hear. Take a vocalist, for example. They are quite unpredictable. They are full of range and are inconsistent of how they use a mic. We have to take out harmful, sharp frequencies and carefully monitor their levels so that we can create the most smoothly sounding worship experience. I work most closely with this because of how important it is to the service. Ears are sensitive and must be protected, but the message being communicated properly is critical also. A nasally sounding pastor is more distracting than a crisp sounding pastor. Production influences everything that happens in a service. Subtle changes can mean the difference between a successful or failed service. What we do with these three key areas can mean the difference between someone coming to Christ or rejecting the message. Thank you.
Woo! That was really good! That was really good.